Happy Good Friday. All right, so I want to play this Meryl Streep audio. I know that I kind of put the whole Save America Act thing behind me a little bit as I wrapped up the last hour, but I do want to play this Meryl Streep audio.
It's okay. If John Thune can do it, you can too.
That's exactly right. So this is Meryl Streep, and she's talking about, and I think she's on with Stephen Colbert. I think it was Stephen Colbert. But here she is talking about the importance of not passing the Save America Act. Listen, Meryl Streep.
The Save America Act, if that passes, all the married women that have changed their names are going to have to go to the registrar and prove that they are who they are. In other words, to your voting registrar. This is what I understand. Otherwise, when you get to the voting booth in November, you might be disqualified because your name on your birth certificate doesn't match your name on the voting rolls. So everybody has to get...
This is one of those shows, I think it was Colbert, where the audience is just, really trying to, make it like, oh, this is so horrible. And wait till the end when you hear because Meryl Streep is clearly struggling. She's struggling because she doesn't really know how to adequately explain why she's against the Save America Act. And she even said, as I understand it, which is almost like code for, I don't really know what the hell I'm talking about. I mean, that's how I took it. But Meryl Streep is also, and if you know anything about Meryl Streep and you've seen her in interviews, she's a very deliberative speaker. Like, she's a great actress. I mean, don't get me wrong. But she's very deliberative, and she's very, when she speaks, it's very drama-laden. You know what I'm talking about? So she continues on.
And this is such a pain in the neck because you have to go, but do it, because otherwise you'll be turned away. And I think that women need to be heard, especially in the
All right.
That might be her worst performance ever.
Women need to be heard is what she said.
I know. That's why they don't stop talking.
Anyway, Meryl Streep, actress. I like how, again, everybody goes nuts there at the end. I don't feel like I have to go through this again for the millionth time. Most states already have laws in place to deal with documents that are not consistent. They just do. Now, is it a hurdle? Is it a pain in the neck? Sure. But you know what else is a pain in the neck? Paying your water bill. Paying the internet bill. Getting something fixed. Do you know what I mean?
Property taxes.
Property taxes. It's like not everything is going to be a cakewalk. And again, the bottom line in all of this is, well, if you've got all of that polling that says that women are for the Save America Act, and a lot of these people surveyed were women, right? So, as I said in the previous hour, are you saying that all of those women are okay with suppressing the vote? No, they're not. They just understand that when you get married and you've got to change your name, then the state that you live in, more than likely, has a process for getting your documents consistent. It's just this whole thing is just so incredibly dumb. And this is what drives me nuts about the Democrats. And basically what Meryl Streep is, they have such a low opinion of people, don't they, the Democrats? They have a low opinion of people, generally speaking. They feel like everybody else is dumb, and they feel like they are better than everybody else.
Don't you need an ID to fly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love it. We you need an ID to get it. We could go through the whole list. I feel like...
Well, but that one's got a special, if you want to talk about extra paperwork, right? Well,
right.
We passed legislation requiring, now you need the real ID if you're going to fly, or you pay a fine or, whatever for that.
Mm-hmm.
No one batted an eye to get that passed, really. But we want to implement similar structure into the voting in federal elections,
right,
and setting equal precedents across all states, and suddenly that's a terrible thing. Well, you don't care about people being disparaged, from getting on an airplane, right? If they're going to be marginalized or whatever. But when it comes to voting, it's totally a problem.
No, can I tell you what my problem is with the Save America Act? My problem with the Save America Act is I have spoken about this, and I've done this topic 1,000 times. So you almost feel like, how many times do I have to say the same darn thing?
Until you're red in the face?
Here's the deal. Most people that are listening agree that the Save America Act needs to pass. So I feel like, okay, so why am I even talking about this, Now, we have some great news with the jobs numbers. I've got a little bit of video. I got some video that I want to play. If you're just joining us, monumental job creation. The original number was supposed to be, we're talking about this, about 50,000.
59 to 60,000.
59 to 60,000, and it turns out that it was 178,000 jobs created. This is what it sounded like.
This is one heck of a report, folks. Wow is right, Steve Moore. Non-farm jobs coming in 178,000 jobs. The expectation was 60,000, folks. The unemployment rate went down to 4.3%. The expectation was 4.4%. Mm-hmm. We didn't get a loss in manufacturing jobs. We got a hit of 15,000 manufacturing jobs. Private sector jobs, get this, folks, 186,000. 186,000. The estimate was for 70,000, and the average work week 34.2 hours. That was actually a little bit less than expected. And again, looking at the U6 underemployment rate, that was coming in at 8%. I'm going to go into the report, folks, as I do every month, and I'm going to give you a sense of where the jobs are. But as I'm doing that, I want to go over to Steve Moore. You had the same reaction I did. What a number!
I love seeing them get all because these are a bunch of eggheads, right? Really smart people. They don't get excited over much. But Steve Moore, who I've interviewed here on WTN many times, but he got excited over this.
Wow, what a great Easter weekend present this is. I mean, my God, this is way, way higher than even the range of forecasts. Mm-hmm. I can't quite figure it out. I have to look deeper into these numbers, but it is really good news for the economy. I think one of the things this tells us is that employers believe that the situation in the Middle East is temporary, and they're planning for the future, and they're hiring workers according to this report. And so it appears that employers and businesses believe that Trump is right, that we'll get the Straits of Hormuz open, that this is a temporary shock to the economy, and that we've got sort of smooth sailing ahead. And by the way, the fact that, again, we're seeing more private sector employment and a fall in the government employment is a very positive thing. It's been a trend we've seen so far.
I love it. So, and Steve Moore is right, by the way. That goes back to what I was saying before the news, when this whole thing happened, which was consumer confidence is up. Steve Moore just talked about how if people are hiring, if businesses are hiring, then that does tell you that they do believe, and this is the same thing with the consumer confidence, then they do believe that this is going to be, as Steve Moore said, a temporary shock to the system, but then eventually everything is going to go back to relative normal, at least what we see here in America with the Trump administration. So it's a good news, and we've had some good news, again, economically here in this week. And so it's a good Friday for a number of different reasons. Dude says that this can't be true. This is 3092. You need an ID to buy a lighter at 7-Eleven?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I don't believe that.
Well, certain people are going to be carded everywhere. Those who appear to be over a certain age may not. Take it up with the cashier, man, not me.
So I don't know exactly what you're saying.
So do you remember a couple of years ago they legalized how you could buy tobacco and lottery tickets? It's no longer 18 in Tennessee; it's 21.
Yeah.
So with that became pretty much anything that requires an ID to purchase at 21. They go with the alcohol. You know, if you look over 35,
why do you need an
card
ID to buy? That's what I'm trying to figure. Why do you need an ID to buy a lighter?
Because the only products you're going to use with it, you need to be 21 or older to have. They consider that just
campfire. You could have a campfire at 17.
I'd say buy a box of matches then.
All right, whatever. I'm not going to argue.
I mean,
Just
no,
doesn't
they
make
did
any
it to
sense.
me. I had that experience trying to buy a lighter as a teenager, and they said, no, you're not 18. Then they changed the law from 18 to 21. So
right,
it's unless you look over a certain age, they're going to card you for a lighter. And it's sometimes a requirement of the point of sale system that they scan your ID before it'll let them finish checking you out with the lighter.
Okay. I don't know if you noticed, Sam, but about midway through whatever you just said, I completely lost interest.
Hey, you wanted it fact checked.
I know. Careful what you ask for, apparently, on Nashville's Winning.
And don't ask me for a lighter.
Do you know what's so funny? I don't drink. No, I do drink. I keep saying that. I don't drink a lot. But I don't smoke and anything. And these days, so I don't have a need for a lighter. So I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I needed to buy a lighter for something, I don't know what it would be.
I mean,
yeah,
I have a Zippo for my cigars. That's about it.
Oh, you know what? Candles. We have a lot of candles in the house. That's why I need a lighter.
Matches.
We have a Zippo. Nobody cares. All right, 820 Super Talk 99.7 WTN 615-737-9986. 615-737-WWTN. I was talking to Chris in the hallway. So he is all fired up about Todd Blanche and the termination of Pam Bondi. Fired up about it. And I guess Todd Blanche was on, was it Fox News last night? And he said something, and I'm paraphrasing because of what Chris told me. But apparently Todd Blanche said on Fox News last night that they're over the Epstein files and like they're not going to deal with the Epstein files much anymore. I think Todd Blanche is nuts. If he thinks this whole thing is going to go away, no, it is not going to go away. That's what Chris is going to say too, but he'll say it with a lot more passion and detail. This is, I'm just going to play just a little bit of audio from Todd Blanche because I have not heard this. This is what he said, acting U.S. Attorney General.
Pam Bondi too, but she didn't give Swalwell a heads up on the Fang Fang files, did she?
I would not believe that for a second. Absolutely, positively not.
That was one of the accusations was that Pam Bondi had given Eric Swalwell a heads up about this Fang Fang investigation that they're doing with the FBI and Kash Patel. So I don't know if she did or not, but there is a lot of accusations with Pam Bondi right now. My only problem with Pam Bondi is just that she didn't do her job. I mean, she just plain and simple, she didn't do her job. I do feel like she deserved to get fired. I think that there's a lot of people that say that she did not deserve to get fired. But listen, when you go in and you're talking smack on the Epstein files, and then you are in a position to a position of influence to release all of the Epstein files, and you play the games that you did, Pam Bondi, then I'm sorry, but you shanked it. You deserve to get fired. My big thing was when she said that Epstein committed suicide and all of the Epstein files had been released, and then lo and behold, there's like millions more that they release in the next couple of months. Well, okay, so how can we ever believe anything that you say? This is Todd Blanche, real quick.
Now, the Epstein files, you'd agree, not handled well?
No, and I don't, first of all, I have never heard President Trump say that the Attorney General that anything that happened to her had anything to do with the Epstein files. And so, look, the Epstein files has been a saga that's lasted for the past year. And what happened when the President signed the Transparency Act is the Department of Justice has now released all the files with respect to the Epstein saga. And the Attorney General Bondi and I appeared in front of Congress voluntarily a couple weeks ago to answer any questions they had. We have made every single congressman, senator available to come and see any document, redacted, unredacted, that they want. And so I think that to the extent that the Epstein files was a part of the past year of this Justice Department, it should not be a part of anything going forward.
Well, we'll have to see what happens with the Epstein file. Here's the deal, is that for the Epstein files will never be over. It's like there's always going to be something else that you're reaching for. There's always going to be some other person, some other name, some other plot that you're looking for. There's always going to be some other pedo that you want to have thrown in jail or whatever. And I've been talking about the Epstein files for a long time. I want the names to have their day in court. I want them to have a jury among their peers, and if they did something untoward, if they did something wrong, they need to be thrown in jail. That is what needs to happen. But, I think when you're talking about the acting attorney general, right now you've got Todd Blanche, and Todd Blanche was the guy that went in and he interviewed Jeffrey Epstein's, Sam, help me, old man disease, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend. What was her name?
Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell. Thank you. Yeah. He goes in.
We were watching the train roll down the tracks.
And I know you were enjoying it too, weren't you? Ghislaine Maxwell. So he's the one that goes in and he interviews Ghislaine Maxwell. And I know that I sound like a liberal, but he goes in and he interviews Ghislaine Maxwell, and then all of a sudden she gets a cushier prison sentence. And so there's a lot of people who are, really passionate about the Epstein files. You look at what he did with Ghislaine Maxwell, who is, obviously a very big part of that story. So now you look at him rather cynically and with a bit of side eye. I love Lee Zeldin. I think Lee Zeldin is a guy who is a really smart. Currently, he's a guy in charge of the EPA. And I think that he is a stand-up guy. And I believe that if you want to make a clean slate with the Epstein files, number one, I don't know if anybody will ever be able to make a clean slate with the Epstein files, but I think that Lee Zeldin is pretty close because he doesn't have, as far as I know, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but as Lee Zeldin, he doesn't have the stink of being somebody who for years commented over and over about the Epstein files and then again in a position of influence and then they completely shank handling the Epstein files, which is exactly what Pam Bondi did. And we'll see what ultimately happens to Kash Patel. So here's the names of Trump administration cabinet members and people who are working in the Trump administration whose careers, whose jobs may be in peril. You were talking about Tulsi Gabbard. We already lost, of course, Kristi Noem. We lost Pam Bondi. Tulsi Gabbard apparently is on the bubble. We'll have to see what happens with Todd Blanche. And I don't know. We'll ask Chris if he's got any other names that he thinks might be close to getting fired within the Trump administration. He is a year and a half in. He's got his people. Some people are saying Pete Hegseth. I don't think Pete Hegseth is in trouble, but we'll have to ultimately wait and see. I know
the guy who just said his brain has been leaking out of his ears on the show says it's not my fault.
Do you know what happens? And Sam can attest to this. Like the further along the morning goes, because I don't get a lot of sleep, the more just my eyes start glazing over. And especially by the time Friday is, I have not gotten a lot of sleep. And I think that's what happens. Because when I was in mornings, I didn't screw up people's names. I called Pamela. I called Bell
Bellel.
Well, I called Bell, but I also called him a few other things. Totally kidding. Totally kidding. Whatever. Totally kidding.
If he was awake and listening right now, he'd be very upset.
Anyway,
Bobby, if those kids could read.
So yeah, I don't. So my sleeping situation is part of what's causing my issues, but I don't want to dwell on that. What do you want to talk about?
I almost got fooled by an April Fool's joke.
Go ahead.
So one of our listeners, this guy who goes by Magic Studios on X, he had sent me a news story on April Fool's Day. But I didn't open it until yesterday, which would be the 2nd. So I look at this story, and the headline is, breaking, a California chocolate company has issued a nationwide recall after its chocolate products was spiked with dangerous levels of Viagra.
So the story was there's Viagra in chocolate.
There's the Viagra in the chocolate. So I do what I always do when I get a headline from a listener. I go and I fact check it.
Sure.
So I'm like, that's wild. And I like giggled because I was like, this would be a great story for this segment. And I Googled it. And I find a local news station in Springfield, Missouri, KY3 on your side. And they're running it as a real story on the 2nd.
They're not the only one.
They're not the only one. So I fact checked it. So then I respond to the listener. I was like, oh my gosh, that's wild. I'm bringing this in. And he's like, no. It's an April Fool's joke. I don't want you to look dumb on the air. And I was like, to be fair, I fact checked this and they were reporting it on the 2nd.
The
Seattle Times has it.
WKRN has it. WKRN, that's local. WKRN News too.
Are they also a Gray News affiliate?
I don't know.
They look like Gray News picked this up.
Well, I know Jackson, during the Nincompoop segment the other day, Jackson, that Matt does, Jackson had that as a story. He used that the other day.
Yeah, 2 days ago, WKRN on their Facebook, because Amy sent this to me last night. A Northern California company that sells adult novelty products is voluntarily recalling 2 chocolate products.
It's real.
It's real?
It's a real story.
Because
actually,
the listener told me that it was fake. He was like, no, don't go on the air with that. It's an April Fool's joke.
FDA.gov.
Yeah.
It's on the FDA's website.
You are fake news. Chris Hand, you are fake news.
It has to do with Gold Lion aphrodisiac chocolate for men.
No. Bobby Kennedy must be pulling your leg.
And Ilium's sex chocolate male enhancement booster.
It says potentially life-threatening amounts of Viagra.
So,
yeah.
Oh, I guess it was a real press release then.
How can you...
If it's a life-threatening amount of Viagra, isn't it hilarious that, the aim was to get stiff and now you are a stiff?
I mean, at least make it hard.
Isn't that hilarious? Am I the only one that thinks that's funny?
No. I mean, talk about some rigor.
So it's real.
Yep, I'm looking at the FDA website right now.
I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in Inception right now. I don't know what's going on.
So I don't know if I want to go down this road.
It's a real company, and so the theme has, in the last few years, become that you don't take the tablet anymore. You and your partner break off a piece of a naughty chocolate.
A piece of...
Okay, but here's my question. So how do you... What did he say?
Nothing.
No.
Moving right along.
What did Jay say?
No. Sam said you break off a piece, and I'm like, a piece? Oh, never mind.
So
he was going to say of each other.
Thanks, Joe.
I want to know, if it's life-threatening, what are the symptoms? If you've taken too much Viagra and you're about to die.
I learned this from an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. One of them is that you maintain a certain stiffness for hours.
4 hours.
That's when you have to call a doctor.
Yeah. I knew a guy who had to have it drained.
That's what they do.
Oh, no.
That's what they do.
I was his boss.
Oh, no.
They tap it like a syrup tree.
I was this guy's boss.
That is no.
And he came to me.
No, he didn't.
And he said, I have to take a couple of days off. And I said, okay, why? I've got to call in sick. Okay, you seem fine.
Did he call this in or did he come into the office?
He came into my office.
Oh.
Wait. Pre-drain?
Pre-drain. Yeah. He said what he had to do. He had to go and he had to get this.
So he's walking around the office like that?
I didn't look down, but apparently yes. And that was awkward. It's like, don't look down.
Yeah, don't look down.
You know what I mean?
Pitching a tent, as the kids say?
I guess. I don't know. But so he had to get it drained. And he was, terrified, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
So this release, by the way, came out March 19th.
No. So how many people have eaten
this is 100% real.
Yeah.
All right. So what else though? You have to have some drainage, but what else happens? What are the symptoms that you're about to die because you've had too much Viagra?
I just typed in symptoms of and it filled out the Viagra overdose on Google.
Okay, so what happened?
Oh my gosh, so a lot of people are dealing with this. That's what that means.
Key symptoms: cardiovascular, severe drop in blood pressure.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a blood pressure issue.
Rapid heart rate. Well, because the original design,
the blood pressure's going elsewhere.
The original design of that medication was for blood pressure, and blood pressure pills are $5 a pill. Other kinds of pills are $150 a pill. Vision and hearing, blurred vision, increased light sensitivity, sudden vision loss. neurologic and systemic, intense headaches, dizziness, fainting, severe nausea, and vomiting. If you have any sudden loss of vision or hearing, an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, severe chest pain or breathing difficulties, you should call 911.
I really had a long conversation with this listener last night, and I was like, I thought I almost got. But apparently he was the one that got.
Got? Yeah, that's good, actually. Got.
I don't like getting got.
I wonder if the chocolate's good, though.
Okay. That's where you go? That's where you go?
Is it of
I don't
of
eat
quality?
it for that. I eat it for the taste. I swear.
It's better than Reese's.
Yeah, and I just read the articles. Yeah.
Okay.
It's got other side effects, and it makes me feel a little, whatever. All right, we should probably move on.
Yep.
Don't try it. We'll hear more about how you're not getting any sleep.
The blood leaves one head and go, well, never mind.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, we'll stop right there.
The guy did do afternoon news yesterday. He's a little...
I know, man. Dan and I are on the same, no sleep wave thing.
I stayed up and I watched our Nashville Preds win in a shootout against L.A., so I've been up since 9 last night.
That's right. They play him out west.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, do we have time to do... I want to do Gavin Newsom's wife real quick.
That's how you frame it? That's how you frame it. After the aphrodisiac chocolate, that's how you're going to frame it.
Where's that chocolate?
By the way, that chocolate is from California.
Yeah.
Jennifer Newsom, come here. I've had chocolate. No, I'm just kidding.
You and the Rams and the Dodgers.
Okay, good Lord,
all right.
Okay. I have a topic I would like to do in discussing Jennifer Siebel Newsom. Sakes me. Okay, so first of all, talk show host vernacular. Talk show host vernacular, Chris, you know as well as I do. When you say you want to do something, you want to do that topic, and that's what I meant. Whatever, moving right along. So, have you heard this audio and seen this video? I've got video.
I don't know. I'm experiencing sudden vision and hearing loss.
She's talking about raising her kids, and basically, I'm not going to be able to do this. We're not going to be able to do this because I can't do something serious because of what has just happened on the radio.
3157 texted and said, "That's not a tent; it's a pole barn."
Stoltzko
comes to mind. Oh my goodness gracious!
Do you need to eat one of these chocolates before we put another Daily Dan poll up?
We're done here.
Oh gosh, yes, we've all become 12.
All right, you know what? Will you promise me, Chris, that you will, because I did this topic in the 5 o'clock hour. It is Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of Gavin Newsom. Listen to this woman. They are like made for each other. And she's trying to raise the toxic masculinity out of her kids.
Oh, perfect.
And it is like...
You know what I love? I'm going to be injecting toxic masculinity into them. And you know who's going to win? My boys.
You know what?
Like, this is one of the things everybody will say, it's such a hard time to raise kids. Oh, and it's like, no, actually, if you raise them with good conservative Christian values, they're going to be running circles around the kids who have been told that urinating in a litter box is appropriate.
You know, their sons, Hunter, 13, and Dutch, 8. I fear what they're going to become because of the way that she is raising them with this whole toxic masculinity, any kind of masculinity. I'll just, I'm just we'll do
it live.
We'll do it live. Listen.
I've given our boys dolls, even if they tear the head off. I've given them dolls to learn that care and caregiving is not just an activity that's reserved for women, but that it's also an activity that is a responsibility of men.
Wait. So she's giving them dolls.
Yes.
And she's admitting that they're going full Sid from Toy Story and ripping the heads off of these toys.
Well, they can afford it.
What are they raising? Are they raising little psychopaths?
Well, yeah. If you listen to the rest of it, they are. Listen to what she says about books.
What I've done with both my daughters and my sons is if I'm reading a book and the protagonist is a male, I just change the he to a she. And it just normalizes for my sons in particular. I don't even just do it for my girls. I do it for my sons because I want them to see that women can be the center of a story.
Stunning and brave.
That women matter. That women are interesting.
I really don't want to do Jennifer Siebel Newsom after that.
Women are interesting, damn it. Why won't you listen to me?
This chocolate was working until you opened your mouth.
And here's the thing, though. Like, why would you purposely buy a book with a female protagonist or with a male protagonist just to turn it into a female protagonist? Why wouldn't you just buy one of the millions of books that have a female protagonist?
Oh yeah, don't we support women writers? let's
right.
We don't have to rewrite the old books that are good.
That's the thing. It doesn't make any sense. And so
then your kids get bullied when they're like, "Yeah, Leif Erikson was a woman." Like, no, not true.
Right. It sounds like she is trying to, I mean, you just said it. They're going to raise little gender-confused psychopaths. And she's raising them to, that's the right way to put this, she's raising them to be ashamed of who they are as males, as men, as males. Here's more.
At the end of the day, we're all kind of like in this place in history maybe where we're recognizing what it is to ultimately deconstruct all these gender roles and ultimately be human, and that's exciting to me. So I'll just continue to kind of do my work and try and deconstruct all of these like limiting narratives about ultimately what it means to be human.
Deconstruct what it means to be human.
Good.
You know what?
This is good.
I think Victor Glover defined that pretty well when he was asked about going, back out into space and around the moon. It's not black history or woman history, it's human history.
Do you know what I wish? I wish that I could live my life trying to deconstruct what it means to be human. Do you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine if that was your job?
Your day-to-day?
My day-to-day, just deconstructing what it means to be human. I wonder how much that pays. Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to have lunch with the mayor of San Francisco and deconstruct some more of humanity.
Yeah. So I think that, and we did a much better job at this in the 5 o'clock hour when we had some time. But this woman is insane. Can you imagine if she is the first lady, the kind of things that she's going to like embrace?
Do you think that she's like, we have to let them know women are interesting. So she's telling all this to Gavin and he's just not paying attention. He goes, yeah, interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Guessing her, just giving her the whole, husband not paying attention. Yes.
To talk to.
Yep. Fascinating.
Yeah. Her, if she becomes first lady, then her first lady initiative will be just say no to toxic masculinity.
2596 and said Gavin Newsom's wife is the reason why the Rutherford County librarian got fired.
Well, I in my notes I call this, one of the first things I wrote was what a bunch of socio-psycho BS.
Yep.
She sounds like she spent way too much time in college courses and just not enough time like in the real world. And so yeah, her kids are. Somebody said her kids are going to grow up to be like school shooters. No, I'm not going to.
That's a stretch.
I'm not going to say that.
No,
but I think her kids are going to grow up to have a warped sense of masculinity, and that's a problem. All right, 8:56.
Mario texts and goes, she's just deconstructing human intelligence.